All right. Now I got to do a mental switch and we got to go into English. And it is just so strange because I don't find myself speaking English to Italian. So this is new to me. But me and Elena decided to do this episode in English because for the audience, the majority is American that watches us. So bear with us. Today, we are with a very, very special guest. Welcome, Elena, for our fifth
Thank
episode ever on Papyrus. And we are going to talk about a platform that is not foreign to me this time. I'm not bringing somebody from the outside and saying, tell me a little bit about this company that I don't know about, but that I admire. I have been involved with Bio Silicone Shields, and it's completely changed my life. You guys may have recognized the necklaces that I've been wearing for months now, and I keep them on. I never take them away. But today I wanted to bring a more a personality that is more of an expert in this field to tell you guys in depth about what biosilicon shields is. So with this being said, I would like to get started by just run me through the process of how you began this journey and what brought you to being involved into such thing.
Okay. First of all, I want to say I'll do my best. So my English is not the best in the world, but I'll try my best. Okay. So if I have any problem, if I get stuck, you can translate me, please.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay,
you can do that.
good. So how did this journey started? Um, I started having problem with during the night. I couldn't sleep properly. I had this difficulty of getting finally asleep, and we all know that we are in this huge bubble of electromagnetism
Mhm.
field,
Yeah.
electromagnetic field. So, uh, it's sometimes you think maybe this is just a story, maybe this is something that is not really dangerous, but once you can touch with your hands that it's happening, because I eat in a very wealthy way. I do sport. I have a normal good life. So,
Yeah. Like a
and
healthy living. Yeah.
yeah, living, and I wasn't in a very stressful moment. So, when you are too much stress, you have too much stress in your life, maybe you can't sleep. But at that moment, I was okay. The only thing that I changed the apartment where I live. So that's the only different stuff I had in my life. And this apartment was in the city center.
Right. So
So
talk about electromagnetic field. You're like in the heart of it. Yeah.
exactly. So I started questioning this, like, maybe this is real. Maybe this is really dangerous. So I started to do my research online, and I found this company that created this devices. They are very special because they don't really block the electromagnetic signals that come into your house, but they change them. That's
Mm,
new stuff, because if I block your phone, you're not gonna use it. If I
right.
block the frequencies coming into your phone, you are gonna having problem with your phone, with your computer, with your Wi-Fi. So the problem was to find something that can protect me without avoid the signal to come. Okay,
Right.
that was the beginning of the research. So I found this company, and that was very strange because I wasn't looking for something that was close to me. It doesn't matter where I looked at everywhere in the US, in Europe, everywhere. At the end, I found this company, and after I bought the first device, I realized that the company is really close to my place. It's just like 50 kilometers. I can translate that unit in
Oh yeah.
American,
I don't
but
even know.
it's 50 minutes from my house. It's very close. Okay. So this man now is almost 75,
Mm.
He started his research 40 years ago, maybe more than 40. It was the beginning of the 70s. Because he worked for a very huge, big, amazing company called Olivetti. Olivetti is very famous, because they are one of the first company that created the personal computer. So the first computer was made by them
Wow.
before IBM. So they were at the very beginning. So working with electromagnetic stuff, he understood that something very strange happened to all the employed of this company. Every time they get close, they get inside of the space, they felt nauseous. They felt like the blood pressure was not good. So you realize that maybe something is wrong, is really wrong. And so at that moment, he created a machine to collect this frequency. And but first he tested himself. So when he was inside, his blood pressure was very bad. Then going outside, after 15 minutes, he could feel better. So he said, okay, this is real. So he invented a machine to collect these frequencies, but this machine started to collect frequencies all around the world. So he started traveling all around the world because he thought, okay, we live in this hemisphere, but maybe in the other hemisphere they have other frequencies. So he started collecting the frequency from all around this planet,
Wow.
and yes, and created frequencies that are opposite. I mean, the same but the opposite. So he created kind of science, and balancing the bad frequency in something that doesn't hurt you anymore.
Right.
Now, it's quite difficult to me to express this concept in English because it's not my first language, but this is basically what he did, and
Right.
still what he's still doing. So this is how I started to change my life with these devices. I bought one device that called Purity. This is amazing because it's an environmental devices, means that you have one in your house. Yeah, it's like a card. You have one of this in your house and can cover several distance. It depends how big is your house, so you can choose what you prefer or what you need. And everything that comes into the field of this device is purified by these bad frequencies, okay, by the electromagnetic fields. You can experience that, like you can read without any problem. So when you work a lot with your laptop, after 8 hours, you can see that something is not really good. With this, I started to being able to read a book after my long day of working. So that was a big surprise.
Yeah.
And I started to sleep well again. That was big.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
like no problem falling asleep. And especially this was the best. I don't wake up anytime in the night. So I can sleep
Continuously.
continuously for 6-7 hours. That's important.
I'd say before you're getting into amazing details about what makes this company very, very different and distinguished from anything else ever seen before. And you're getting into the benefits that you have personally, encountered on your own skin, which is something that I do not want to oversee. I do want to make a statement though. I do want the meat and potato of the podcast to be for people to tangibly see what makes Bio Silicone Shields different than other EMFs, products and things like that, because I've myself done my researches and I have stumbled upon a lot of people that have created technology, and I don't want to downsize or minimize any of those. But the fact that, just as a surface glance on some of the statistics and details that I was able to research, the fact that somebody like me, right, that is very in close proximity with a city such as New York City, and we all know what kind of electromagnetic smog situation we have going on in New York City, where you are hit by frequencies and waves and just technology devices everywhere, right? You running into the subway, you going into a building, everything is interconnected, and you are in the smack center of fields, right?
Yeah.
When I glanced over some of the details, and some of the products say, even when you leave the premises of like a concentrated, negatively concentrated electromagnetic field, you carry those converted positive frequencies with you for another 70 hours past you leaving the premises.
Yeah.
It's something so revolutionary. So I would like for you to really give us a more, not in layman's term, but tell us the science behind how this person in this company henceforth was able to create something of this magnitude, no pun intended.
Yeah. Okay. The technology that he used is RFID technology.
Okay.
Okay, it means the radio frequency identification.
Mm.
Okay, and this technology is a system that uses radio waves. So radio waves to identify objects. What you said about lasting for 70 hours is right, but it's something that only Purity can do. It's the last device that he created. The other device like Combi Plus or the Totus, there are the Totus and transmission, for example, are things that are wearable devices. So it's not something that is for the environmental field, let's say.
Right.
And created this because there are so many, like say doctors, naturopath, or physiotherapists, or people that works with the energy of people, okay, of their patients, that they feel that, okay, this is good for the therapist, but it's really powerful for the people that gets the therapy.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
the energy of the therapy lasts for hours. Okay, so this is so Purity is able to do this. So the frequencies stay in your fields of 70 hours. And why we can prove it? Because we made several tests, and we have doctors and we are specialists that tasted our devices and tasted how the effect lasts. Actually, we said it lasts for 70 hours. It's more, but let's say 70. It depends also how big is the electrosmog that surrounds you. Because
Right.
if you are, as you said, in New York, it's different, like spending your afternoon in a woods,
Montana.
exactly. So it depends on that. So maybe if you live in a place that is not that full of these electromagnetic frequencies, maybe it's gonna last for more than 70 hours.
Right.
So everything that we are saying, it has been proved. And if you go in the website, you can find testimonials.
Right.
Yeah.
Go a
Okay.
little bit in depth into like what kind of studies have been done to prove these, and the doctors involved into these studies.
Okay. I'm gonna say that in Italian.
Okay.
So it's your job now to translate it.
Okay, I'll try my best.
Ok, andando nel sito si possono vedere le ricerche fatte da professionisti che hanno utilizzato anche dei macchinari per testarli.
Okay. So if you visit the website, there are testimonials and studies done by professionals that, they have used specific machines to test on these studies, basically.
Macchine che hanno analizzato l'ossigenazione del sangue,
So those
Yeah,
machines have tested the oxygenation of blood. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
for example. Or they tested nel mondo degli sportivi, per esempio, è stato molto testato e proprio le prestazioni dell'atleta si possono proprio quantificare in secondi, in percentuali, insomma, dipende dal tipo di sport. E gli atleti testati con i nostri device hanno prestazioni superiori e
Mm.
soprattutto lo stress del corpo diminuito. E questo stress
Very,
si
very
misura con... Mm.
This is very, very interesting. So those tests were heavily done on the world of sports, testing on athletes, and they were able to see how it affected their performance. And it actually is a tangible difference in within difference in seconds of performance, and also how the body would affect or the stress factors on the body of the athletes. Okay, that's
E
crazy.
poi è importante dire che alcuni di questi test sono stati fatti in cieco e doppio cieco. Che significa? Adesso io, come si dice cieco e doppio cieco in inglese, proprio non lo so, ma
Yeah.
possiamo dire come si spiega. Sono stati testati con la consapevolezza dell'atleta o del paziente, ma anche senza che lui lo sapesse. Quindi
Right.
è stato messo un dispositivo nell'ambiente. Prima è stato testato senza il dispositivo,
Mm.
sono stati rilevati i dati, poi è stato messo il dispositivo senza che la persona lo sapesse, questo per evitare l'effetto placebo.
Right. Okay, this is a very meaty part of the tests. So Elena is explaining how some of the tests were made uh, within the knowledge of the person. So they acknowledged that that was happening. So they knew that the device was being used for statistical purposes. But there's also another side of the test, which was made unknowingly to the athletes to prove, to reverse the placebo effect on the athletes, because sometimes you can be, yeah, the results could be compromised in a way that you are, your mental is bias, in that moment. So it's good that we have this differentiation of tests to prove what are the difference. So my curiosity is what kind of results have come out when the athletes knew that what was happening versus when they didn't? Were the
It's
results pretty the same?
the same. It's the same. It's the same. And what is important is that the results is really impressive because when it's about a sportive performance, if you do your best for the 10%, and if you are an athlete, that 10%
Performance.
means you are going to win or lose the, um, the race or whatever you're doing.
Oh, of
Okay, so
course.
it's really a lot. It's really a lot.
Right.
And another example I can make, um, one of a doctor tried to use this totus, that it's a bracelet, or you can also have the charm. Is the same. It's the same thing. Just they
I wear
changed
it.
the. Yeah,
It's one
exactly.
of these.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
one.
It's a square. Yeah, that's one.
Yeah.
So she tasted a man that was sick, that had COVID.
Mm.
Was sick, and with COVID you tend to have less oxygen in your blood.
Mm.
And to test your blood, they use this instrument that we call, this device I call saturimetro. I
Mm.
don't know in English
To
how
measure
we
the
call it.
saturation. Yeah.
Exactly. So that was impressive because as she gave this man the tortoise bracelet, she could see the saturation going up. Okay,
Mm.
rising.
Wow.
So she tested again with another man that was sick, and we have noi abbiamo la dichiarazione di questo dottoressa sul sito.
There's a declaration from the actual doctor of this.
Yeah.
So when it came to, I was interested in knowing what could throw off the devices because the audience doesn't know quite yet. That's why we're introducing this wonderful technology. But the devices could be compromised if they are in contact with some elements, which I want Elena to go into, because the devices themselves, they are charged for to last years, which
Yeah.
is also something unheard of. So I was very, very pleased, but also in awe to learn how something like this can protect you for the next 5 years, and can keep you, your chakra balanced and everything. So, correct me if I'm wrong. I did learn that, for example, if any of the devices are in contact with aluminum, that frequency could just, go out the window basically. So what
It's
go
not that really the frequencies go out. It's just that the frequency stays in. Means that if you lock the device inside the aluminum, the frequencies of the device can protect you because they stays in the aluminum. It's the only thing that can block it.
Why does aluminum do that?
It's okay. This is not very good to say, but have you ever seen someone that try to steal and they come with this big bag covered by this aluminum and they can put everything inside? It sounds crazy, but I know it's
Oh, wait a second. So
it's just a block the RFID frequencies. So the
aluminum
RFID,
does that? So
yeah.
shoplifters, if you this is no tip for anybody to
No,
draw
I want to say
inspiration
that I don't
from.
want to teach anyone how to.
This is no stealing 101, but basically aluminum acts like a shield to protect whatever the object is inside that does have maybe like a plaque with a magnetic that is
Yeah,
recognized by the devices,
yeah,
to just walk away, never beep, and
exactly.
wow, so it just traps it in.
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't know
how it
that.
works. So if you block that, this is how you can also test them. So
Mm,
if you have, for example, a tortoise, and well, tortoise is very easy. You just can take it off and that's it. But if you have a combi plus in your house and you want to test like the difference between having it or not at the device,
mhm.
just lock it. And then you can test, you can do kinesiological tests. I don't know if you know them. Like,
No.
yeah, kinesiological test, you can prove the strength of your body using, like, an example. You can try to push down your arm.
Mm,
If you are holding a phone in your in the other hands and you try the strength of your arm, you will see that your arm goes down very easily because
right.
the device really damage our body. Damage,
Yes.
it's real. So, but when you have another one of our devices, you can feel the strength is different,
Mm,
totally completely different. And if you want that, like as I said, without the placebo effect, you can put two things in a plastic something, like one device is another thing, so you don't know what are you holding in the air
yeah.
or having in your pocket, for example, if
Yeah.
you have a device or something else. But you will find out after your arm will go down like so easily. It means that you are not wearing our device.
Hmm.
It's very easy to test. Okay.
I do want to give like a clear overview of what everything this company provides. So, I'm very pleased to represent such platform because it not only has wearable accessories, but like Elena was explaining, there's environmental devices that you can place in different areas of your house. You can there, if I'm not mistaken, there's stickers that you can actually put on your tech devices, right?
Yeah, like now I don't know if you can see it. You see, focus
Mm,
here.
wow.
It
Mhm.
it's really small, and you can use it with your phone, your computer. And I mean, I already wearing this, so I don't really need this.
Right. Yeah.
But what I discovered is since I use focus on my phone, the battery lasts like I don't want to say the double, but almost
Way
and
more.
way
Yeah.
more. And the
You
phone,
had a lot of personal benefits. I heard from one of your interview that you actually were able to place a disc in your car, and since you do drive a lot, the disc was able to just kind of like intervene
you
on the
say the
gas.
15%. You say the
Yeah,
15%. Yeah.
was able to kind of intervene and help you save on gas and not consume so much, which
That's
hence
true.
that turns into like a financial risparmio, how we say in Italian. So
It's not that bad. Because in
it's
Italy,
not bad.
especially, spend a fortune to put the gas in your car, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, considering
Example,
how
you can use a Combi Plus, or you can use a Purity. You can bring that in your car. We also have travel. The device that calls travel, you can put in the
okay.
car. It is special for the car. But as I said, if you have one in your house, like Combi Plus or Purity, if you want, you can carry them with you.
Mhm.
Um, if if you travel a lot, and
Right.
if you use a lot the car. Uh, if you don't, you just have to wear something else like a tortoise or transmission. Or if in your house you have Purity, you don't have to care, because Purity gives you the same frequencies even if you leave the house for 70 hours. These devices are really good, not only for people, so for humans, but also for food,
Yeah.
water. What happens is that electromagnetism like create a kind of
Limestone. So elements in our environment have the capacity to over time to create limestone,
so
correct?
yeah, the water you drink is better, have a better taste, definitely. It's
So
like you can.
by utilizing those environmental, uh, whether it's the disc, whether it's another device, it's able to scrape off those layers of limestone that are very dangerous. You don't need those kinds of elements when you drink water and eat food. So the fact that it's just does like a reverse effect, and it cleanses the
Yeah,
water and make the food last longer.
last longer. The food,
Yeah,
yeah, in the fridge, in the refrigerator, in if you have fruits in your table, you can take you can try.
yeah,
At the very beginning, when I started to try for myself these devices, I did my tests by
right.
myself.
Yeah. You wanted to test it on yourself, of
Yeah.
course.
So I tried. Okay, let's say, okay, here we have Combi Plus. Here we have Purity. Okay, but let's try to put like you buy bananas.
Yeah,
I took one of them and let them close to the field of the device, and the other one very far, where the device couldn't get it,
reach. Yeah.
and couldn't reach it. So it sounds like it's impossible. The banana close to the Purity or Combi Plus last like 3 days more.
Mm.
It's just an example, but it's even the food in the fridge is the same.
So
So
do you think at this point is not a thought that the environment corrodes, whether you are in an environment full of like negative electromagnetic fields, it has the ability to speed up the process of expiration of your food.
of course, everything that is
Period.
alive is affected by electromagnetic field, negative electromagnetic field.
Do you
Everything.
think do you think so without these devices, right? Um, what are like the bodily damages that a negative field can cause?
There are tons of negative effects. Like there are people that feels like this feeling of blue, like depression. It affects your thyroids. It affects, as I said, you can't really sleep properly. It means that the energy you have during the day it's not enough. If you have a day full of things to do, like you have to work like 8 hours a day, and then you do sport, you have kids, you have, at the end of the day you are exhausted. I don't want to say that you are going to be Wonder Woman because it's normal to be tired at the end of the day, but the energy you have is completely different. And it's not something I'm telling, but there are so many research made by very huge institute that says that electromagnetic fields are very dangerous. The electrosmog is really dangerous, can create also things like cancer. It's not me saying that, okay?
Right. Of course.
There are universities that are proving that. So, and it's like we run too fast every day, and we are not focused on what is really dangerous for us. And I don't want to say that technology has to be like
Thrown away.
no, technology is really important. We are talking together now because we are connected to a laptop that is connected with a Wi-Fi, so it's okay.
Right.
But we have to find a way to protect ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's like like the car. I know that the car it's not the best thing for nature, but we can't avoid to
Right.
have a car.
Yeah.
But the best for us would be to find a way to create the perfect car that doesn't create too much pollution, or
Yeah.
we use it in a very conscious way. So it's the same. Technology is very important. We need it. Change our life a lot, but we have to be conscious that it's also dangerous. So the best thing to do is protect yourself as much as you can.
I think it is a mature, not only mature, but it is an enlightened way to live where you can use the assets that have been given to you. The technology moves way, way faster than it ever been before. And we've always been, it's in human nature to progress into more and more. And the more brings the good and the bad with it, but we do have all the assets and all the resources to kind of, like you said, protect us and utilize all of these things that are around us to be able to find a way to say, okay, this is what exists, but how, if I use it, how can it be beneficial for my body and my health? Not everything that you need to that you use has to affect your body, in a negative way. I think that's a weird concept that, you know, people might indulge into, oh, this exists, this is a thing, I'm just going to use it the way it is. But then if it negatively affects your body, um there's a smarter way to anything. That's what I think.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. There is a smart way for everything. The only thing is that you have to be conscious about that.
Yeah.
Once you are conscious, then you can take your decision. You can choose the perfect thing for you. That's the point.
Right.
And as I said, if you do a research, you can find out how dangerous can be. It can be really dangerous, and especially for young people, for
Yeah.
all of us. But for young people, it's really, really affect a lot. They are growing, so their immune system. It can affect also the immune system.
Questo lo connetto a quello di cui stavamo parlando prima.
Okay.
Perché so when you showed the focus tag that you can put on your tech devices, I do want to clarify for people because they might be skeptic about these going directly onto their tech devices because they could think, oh, this is going to erase my data, this is going to compromise the information in my phone. Could you tell us how these devices don't actually affect these types of things?
The frequencies are specific, directed to the frequencies, let's call them bad frequencies of the phone. Nothing has to do with data, nothing, just the frequencies the phone use to connect you with the satellite.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And how it works, as I said before, is RFID technology. what is inside of this patch and is inside of all of these devices is molecole di silicio, very teeny tiny molecule di silicio.
It would be
They
silicon
are
molecules, right?
exactly.
What's
They,
inside those devices are very tiny silicone molecules.
yeah, they are the vehicle for the frequencies. So the silicon, and we know how it works. Silicon is used for so many things, though, is what allowed us to let our frequencies to get inside the device and be spread out.
Mm.
And so what the device does is to spread the frequencies, doesn't catch anything. So you it's something that goes out of the exit the device, nothing that comes in. So it's not taken. You just release of frequencies that lets the device working better. So as I said, the battery lasts for a longer time. And I don't know if you tried that, but I don't know if you have it. But also wearing a device, you can find out that when you have a call, you don't feel the phone getting so hot. Because usually when you have the phone smartphone is started getting very hot.
Yeah.
If you stay for 1 hour at the phone, and we are used to have a long conversation. So
Yeah.
you don't feel like, oh my God, I feel like I'm so hot. The device is really, really hot. No.
That
This,
was one of the biggest thing, and I told you this from the very, very beginning when I started using the devices. That was my very first uh result, we can call it result, that I came across. It was because people know that by editing this podcast, I do a lot of other different editing, for my personal content and stuff like that. AI does a very small percentage of it, but I'm behind editing all these stuff. And, whether I'm editing on my laptop, whether I'm editing on my phone, the very first thing I did notice by wearing these is that not only my phone wasn't getting hot, but I wasn't getting hot. When the body you're just working on your phone, you're watching a movie, or it's just it's like overheating. It's like you become the same temperature as your phone, you know? And then that affects like how you're going to be able to relax your mind enough to go into the REM state, to go to sleep peacefully. Your body is way too hot and overstimulated for you to really relax. So one thing I did notice is that not only my body wasn't getting hot, my devices wasn't getting hot, but when was the time to get ready to start resting, um my heart wasn't pumping as fast, because all these informations were being you know uh managed in a more balanced way. Those frequencies are tangible, how um they're not compromising your internal system, you know and you can go about using your phone as much as you need to get whatever done, without compromising the well-being of your body, without feeling like, oh my gosh, I want to pull my hair out, or I feel stressed, or I got a fever just by looking at my phone. You know what I mean?
that's true. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And what they do also is they work using they balance what we call the chakras of the traditional, Chinese traditional medicine. I don't know if you say that in English, it's like you
Yeah.
call like that. So they balance you. So using these lines coming from the traditional Chinese medicine. And this is how it works. So
Right.
you feel not stressed out, you feel imbalance also emotionally. So it's not
So
just thinking out your body, it's also about the emotions, and the emotions are quite important for
a
our body
very big
too.
thing. Absolutely. I do have a question for you. It might be a tricky one, because, I don't want to put you in like a very hot seat, but at the same time, this question would put you in a hot seat. It would put anybody being asked that in a very hot seat, because it seems so, it seems such common sense to know that if this technology can have you work efficiently and in a balanced way with all tech devices, if being used, you know, um, why wouldn't tech companies incorporate it into their tech devices already?
That's a good question. I don't have the real answer, but I can answer using what I think.
Sure.
I think that okay.
That's the
The
hot
problem,
seat.
no, I'm gonna answer, but business is business. So if you have to spend money for the device to improve something that you can touch, maybe I can invest my money because I'm gonna put something in that. Uh, doesn't matter which kind of smartphone is. But if I give you a faster phone, if I give you a powerful one, then you can see with you can experience that. It's very difficult to let people experience the frequencies. So why I should put something that people can't really understand
Mm.
and invest in research and spend my money on that? But there are so many things that are easy and very cheap also that we don't do. For example, I give you an example. It is nothing about the frequencies, but every morning since let's say since 10 years, every morning I wake up and I drink a cup of hot water with a lemon, with the juice of lemon. Okay. I never get flu. I never get sick. It's really easy. And I don't have to spend a fortune because it's a lemon. And I live in Italy. Lemon is really cheap.
Lemons are
so,
everywhere.
yeah. So sometimes, what's the point to invest in something that I don't really care? I don't want to say that all the companies don't really care about our health, but I'm not saying that. But
Yeah, we can get the gist.
I'm thinking a lot about that, and I think they don't care. Basically, they don't care.
Right.
But that would be great if, as we need to switch the switch, and this is about the phone. This is about cars. This is about everything. We are, as human beings, we are really smart, and the potential we have is huge.
Hmm.
The problem is that sometimes we are too focused on things that are more, come dire, facili per il business.
Easier, more accessible, more comfortable. I think it's acquiring a mentality of the athlete. When in a race, what matters is milliseconds. You're truly not the winner. You're coming second place if you don't run faster by only a millisecond, right? And the same principle applies to life. We know that by focusing on details, that makes the whole difference,
Yeah.
right? So and it's challenging because both in this world and in several different, like, economical, political, socio circumstances that our environment puts us through, we could be stuck in a survival mode instead of a thriving mode, right? Where we have the freedom to think more of what our needs are, to focus on those details and say, no, I'm going to invest into this and I'm going to apply this into my life because I know in the long run, this is going to make me finish. At the finish line, I am making the whole difference, right?
Yeah, but the problem is that we never think about a long time distance. We always, when I say we, I mean like human being and
Right,
business human being. We think about what is useful now.
right.
And this is about the technologies, but we can talk about that in every kind of field, like the food.
Right.
the thing we wear.
Mhm.
So, I mean, the problem is that if I have to produce a device like a phone, a mobile, a smartphone, it costs me. I don't want to say how much they cost because I think they cost
To
really
produce it, not even much, I think.
exactly. But think they produce millions, okay, of devices. And if I have to spend like $5 for each of these devices to protect people, I want to say five, but let's say it is more, but let's say five. Those $5 are dollars that are not coming to my wallet. I'm
Mm.
talking like the producer. It means why? I mean, people that they don't even care about frequency, so why I should do that?
Right.
It's very easy. It's bad, but it's easy.
But I do think it's platforms like these that need so much encouragement and so much substance um to go behind, because it's so important nowadays to encourage platforms that are about don't compromise. Do the thing that in the long run is going to make you a healthier, wealthier, better overall better human being, you know?
You know that I forgot to tell you that with those devices we have been able also to bonificato degli interi comuni. Quindi in accordo con il sindaco abbiamo bonificato delle aree molto vaste dei comuni e abbiamo anche le relazioni che sono sul sito dei sindaci che hanno dichiarato quali sono stati i benefici provati
Oh my.
bonificando dall'elettrosmog interi comuni, quindi si può fare. So now it's
Okay,
your
no,
turn.
this is too huge to skip over. We have to translate this. So Elena was explaining how it is possible to establish this on a bigger scale than just affecting human to human. Those devices were actually applied into entire neighborhoods of communities. So they have relations with the mayor and they have reported back to directly to the company what have been the benefits of integrating those devices into their community. So with that being said, what are some of the feedbacks that have been given?
Huge feedback. What they found out, the quality of, first of all, the water, because we gave them, abbiamo dato un questionario da far compilare, quindi che le persone potessero spiegare che cosa hanno verificato, no? E
So you're
quindi
saying the the people were given a questionnaire to
sì.
fill out. Okay. What was that?
E quindi miglioramento dell'acqua, perché come dicevo prima, ha questo grandissimo effetto, ma anche nelle coltivazioni, quindi perché anche delle aziende che producono frutta e verdura lo usano. E quindi all'interno del comune migliorate produzioni, dipende ovviamente dove si trova il comune, però un comune dove ci sono anche campi, allevamenti, agricoltura, hanno potuto beneficiare della maggiore produzione. Gli animali che vivono più a lungo producono di più e
Certo.
uguale anche, ti lascio tradurre, anche tutto quello che ha a che fare con l'agricoltura. Oltre ai benefici delle persone che si sentono appunto meno stressate, cioè una sensazione di benessere generale migliorato.
Okay.
Ok.
So an overall improvement on the well-being of each and individual inhabitant of the community, but also Elena was explaining how those communities are in more they're on the outskirts of cities, which means that they're in proximity with fields and farms, right? So some of the people involved in agriculture in these communities were able to report back that you know, the crops were more abundant, right?
Yeah,
That's what we
right.
just, yeah,
Yeah.
and the water and the
And what Yeah. E noi li abbiamo anche dati ad alcune scuole, ad alcuni asili e abbiamo le relazioni di questi asili che ci dicono che i bambini sono molto più tranquilli, che al pomeriggio fanno il loro riposino molto più tranquilli, che in generale c'è molto meno. Prima parlavamo di questo senso di, no, di stress, di movimento, di ecco, molto più una zona più rilassata, i rapporti umani sono più distesi. Sembra una stupidata, ma queste robe che ci sparano in testa di continuo ci rendono frenetici.
No, non è
Ecco.
una stupidata proprio per niente. Io lo vedo, l'ho constatato con i bambini, non stavamo per parlare dei bambini. Quando c'è questo nervosismo perché nella testa stanno così gettati sulla tecnologia e poi gli fai una domanda, gli cerchi di avere una conversazione, stanno tutti tesi perché la mente sta troppo focalizzata sulla tecnologia, non riescono
Operati.
a relazionarsi con il mondo, lo chiamiamo mondo reale. Traduco, I'm gonna translate. Um, but these devices were actually planted into some schools as well. They were implemented into schools. In Italy, we have this beautiful tradition where, kids do take like naps, young kids at least, in the very first grades, they do take naps when they go to school. And so, yeah, there's just an overall results of more easygoing behaviors, and just a more tranquil environment and just easier time to fall asleep. And I think those are, like Elena was saying, those are almost intangible changes that you can see with the human eye, but they are so big in the big scale of things. They make up the whole difference. And I think if we could revert back into, which is the whole purpose of this podcast and why I started it, right? If we can all revert back into looking at the details and focusing on what matters in the long run, what makes the difference in the long run, then we could implement and we could be smart. We could be way smarter about our life, and we can implement things that truly make a difference. They're not like quick fix. Yeah, it's huge. What is the big goal for the company? Is there like an initiative, which I hope there is, to implement it so vastly that it is actually in schools and in our cities, in our communities?
Yeah, that would be the best. Because of course it's important to have people one to one, but acknowledge that you can help many people, and it's going to also cost less money, because if you have to split
Right.
the community, the cost of the buy of a device is different, because if you have to buy one, you are going to spend, like, let's say, for example, for like the totus or transmission, I don't remember now how much money, but you can spend from the thousand, sorry, not thousand, 100 and something, and you can arrive with purity also around 1,000. Let's say little less than 1,000. Depends la grandezza del raggio di
Yeah,
azione.
the radius. Yeah.
But think about a community. For the mayor, for each one is going to spend like 15 euro, $15, $20. So with $20 that coming from the taxes you pay, so it's not that you're going to pay for that, you can be protected and have a different life.
Yeah.
It's going to be cheaper and your life is going to be better. So you don't have to spend a huge amount of money. It's not huge the same, but it's really less now. If you think about this measure that decided to use in their community, they spent, I can't, now I don't remember, but if you can compare, it's really less.
Yeah.
So, but first of all is the awareness. If you are not aware, what you can't decide for this kind of technology. You have to be aware. First of all, aware about the damage that you can get from the electrosmog. And after that, knowing that there is a way to prevent it.
Right.
So that from this to that, you can change your life. It is not that difficult.
Is there somewhere that people can get informed about the true damages about electrosmog?
Yes. Okay, now every week I post in the Italian when I post there is a blog, but even if you don't check on my blog, you can check everywhere. You can Google it and find out that there are so many
Right.
disease coming from the electrosmog. It's scary. It's really scary. I didn't know that at the beginning, but when I started to study that, I was like, oh my goodness me, I have two kids,
Yeah.
and I can't let them destroy their immune system, destroy their also sistema riproduttivo. They have problem also when they grow.
Yeah. The
You can have
reproduction.
some, yeah, and there are so many things. Also, as I said before, depression. There are so many people that feel like this kind of this sense of sadness, and they don't have really a reason to be sad,
Yeah.
but that your body is so mm, così tanto attaccato da queste frequenze che alla fine non ti senti
Bombarded.
bene.
Yeah. Your body, your mind is so bombarded by all these frequencies that they are making you feel they're imbalancing you to the point where you don't even know where the problem is coming from. You just feel that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand the blues. I understand the depressive feeling, and I understand the anxiety. You know, there, yeah, there's youth with panic attacks. I've, there hasn't been a generation, a time where I've personally heard more youth pronounce the word, I feel overwhelmed. And I'm
Yeah.
talking about 4, 5, 6 year olds. I'm not talking about
Yeah.
adults,
True.
and it's yeah, so it's and I think it's because, it's also the things you consume, of course. It's not just, presenting a device. The device comes with intricate frequencies, and those affect your mind and body and spirit, and you're thrown off. But it's also the things that we consume on the device. The tortoise is not going to, protect you from watching bad things on YouTube. But what
No.
you're saying, and those affect your mental, as we know, especially, the kids got to be protected in that. But I think it starts with purifying our environment and aligning our chakras with these devices, and then constantly being conscious and aware of what we're feeding ourselves, whether it's food, whether it's the people that we talk to, and the content that we watch and entertain ourselves with. So I just look forward for more things to come. I know I have thrown some ideas of what we can do in the future with Elena, and I hope, we can just come together, just bridge the ocean close between Italy and America and just make it happen, because there's so many people in so many different communities that need this. And I'm just super grateful that you were able to come on and just give us a very pure interpretation and knowledge about what you've been involved with for the past few years. I personally can see the effect on you because you have a beautiful aura, and I've said that from the very, very beginning. So I'm just
Even if my kids try to destroy me every day, but
yes.
I do my to
That's
survive.
bound to happen. Yes. We put them into the world to take us out of this world.
Exactly, exactly. So it's sometimes it's really tough, but I'm still here. So
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank
Such
you.
a pleasure.
Yeah.
And I wish the moment I'll be there is not that far. So I really want to see you, to come there, to maybe to bring few of these devices and maybe meet few people and try to let them try this technology. And I mean, I'm very happy because I experience every day people send me messages and say, oh my God, thank you so much. Now my life is better. I didn't know to be sick until I felt better.
Right.
That's the point. Sometimes people send me messages and emails like, I tried, but at the very beginning, I didn't know to be sick. I
Mm.
realized that because now I feel so much better. So I understand that I wasn't doing great before.
Right. You're just kind of cruising and autopiloting, and you just kind of compromise the way you feel throughout the day. And you think, oh, this, I can put up with this until one day it's how you switch your diet. It's waking up earlier and maybe, starting your day with sunlight and meditating and doing all of the different things. It's all about the lifestyle. And
Yeah.
and once you incorporate all of those things into your life, you feel like I could feel so much better than what I am.
Yeah. Right.
But I do look forward to meeting you very, very soon. Hopefully it will happen. And in the meantime, I do want to encourage people to check out the devices. We have a live and beautifully crafted website. It's biosiliconeshields.com. Do your researches, guys. Look through the website, look through each and individual product, and feedbacks are more than welcome. And if you want to purchase, I do have a discount. It's Ludovica 10. It's also linked in my campsite, that bio, on my Instagram account. So thank you again, Elena, for joining.
Thank you. Thank you. And I want to remind people if they have any question, they can write us an email, and I hope to be helpful.
And the email, plug in your email real quick.
info.biosiliconeshields.com.
Perfect. I'll see you guys on the next episode.